Welcome to National Eyes. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. In Central America, a centuries-old dream is stirring again, echoing through the mountains, rivers, and bustling cities of the region. The vision? A new canal to connect the Atlantic and Pacific. An engineering marvel that could transform the map of global commerce. On December 3, 2025, Nicaragua announced it's moving forward with its own interoceanic canal, a project that could reshape global trade, shift the balance of power, and ignite a new rivalry between the US and China. The Panama Canal has long been the king of maritime shortcuts, but Nicaragua's plan is bigger, deeper, and designed for the world's largest ships. Vessels that can't even fit through Panama's locks. President Daniel Ortega sees this as a once-in-a-generation chance to lift Nicaragua out of poverty, create jobs, and put his country on the world stage. But the project's fate depends on a powerful partner: China. With Beijing's involvement, this is no longer just a regional ambition, it's a global flashpoint, drawing attention from every major power. For shipping companies, it could mean faster, more efficient routes, and billions in savings. For governments, especially in Washington, it's a strategic alarm, one that could reshape alliances and spark new tensions. The world is watching closely. Can Nicaragua succeed where so many have failed before, or will history repeat itself? What will be the true cost, in dollars, in environmental damage, and in human lives? The stakes have never been higher. The next chapter of the Nicaragua Canal is being written right now, and the world is holding its breath to see what happens next. The dream of a Nicaraguan canal stretches back nearly 5 centuries to the 1500s, when Spanish explorers first gazed upon Lake Nicaragua and imagined it as a shortcut for treasure-laden ships traveling between the Atlantic and Pacific. Over the centuries, countless plans were drawn, and grand promises made by kings, presidents, and entrepreneurs alike, but time and again, disease, political intrigue, and the limits of technology always got in the way, halting progress before it could truly begin. In the 1800s, American tycoon Cornelius Vanderbilt demonstrated the route's viability during the California Gold Rush, ferrying thousands across Nicaragua on their way to the west. Yet, US politics, international rivalries, and clever lobbying ultimately shifted the canal dream south to Panama, leaving Nicaragua behind. In 2013, President Ortega reignited hope by granting a 100-year concession to Chinese billionaire Wang Jing for a $50 billion canal, planned to be 3 times longer than Panama's and promising to transform Nicaragua's future. But the ambitious project soon collapsed under the weight of mass protests, environmental concerns, and a devastating financial crash in China that wiped out Wang's fortune. By 2024, the government officially canceled the concession, and for many, the centuries-old dream seemed finally dead. But just months later, President Ortega revived the idea once more. This time with a new proposed route and the hope of attracting even more powerful international backers. Nicaragua's canal dream refuses to die. No matter how many setbacks or failures it faces, the vision endures, fueled by hope and ambition. Now the world watches and wonders, will this time finally be different, or is the Nicaraguan Canal destined to remain just a dream? In late 2024, Nicaragua unveiled a new, even more ambitious canal plan, 445 kilometers long, 5 times the length of Panama's. The route now avoids Lake Nicaragua, aiming to sidestep past environmental criticism by passing through Lake Managua instead. Designed for the world's largest ships, the canal would be up to 540 meters wide and 27 meters deep. The government pitches it as the answer to Panama's drought-driven bottlenecks, a limitless alternative. The real game-changer. After switching diplomatic ties from Taiwan to Beijing, Nicaragua opened the door to Chinese state-owned companies. In November 2024, CAMC Engineering signed on to build the Atlantic port at Bluefields, a concrete sign of Chinese state involvement, but the full $50–80 billion financing remains uncertain, and experts doubt the project will move forward without a direct guarantee from Beijing. The world is watching to see if China will take the leap from port builder to canal financier. In Washington, the Nicaragua Canal is seen as a direct challenge to U.S. influence in Central America. The project is viewed not just as an economic venture, but as a bold geopolitical move that could shift the balance of power in the region. For over a century, the U.S. has considered the region its backyard, with the Panama Canal as a symbol of its power. The canal has long been a vital artery for global trade and a cornerstone of American strategic interests. Now, a Chinese-backed canal threatens to upend that balance, raising alarms about national security and military strategy. The sheer scale of the project and the involvement of a major U.S. rival has sparked intense debate in policy circles. U.S. officials warn that Chinese control of critical infrastructure could give Beijing a strategic foothold, potentially even naval access, close to American shores. The possibility of Chinese military presence so near the U.S. mainland is a scenario that deeply concerns American defense planners. Nicaragua's authoritarian government, aligned with U.S. rivals like Russia and Cuba, only heightens the anxiety. These alliances add another layer of complexity, making the canal project a flashpoint in a broader contest for influence. The U.S. is expected to counter with diplomatic and economic pressure, offering alternatives to Nicaragua's neighbors and urging international banks to withhold funding. Washington is also working to strengthen ties with other Central American nations to limit China's reach. Washington can't stop the project outright, but it can make progress slow and costly. By leveraging its influence, the U.S. hopes to delay construction and discourage further foreign investment. The stage is set for a prolonged geopolitical struggle, one that could reshape alliances across the Americas. Regional leaders are watching closely, weighing their own interests as the rivalry intensifies. The canal is no longer just a Nicaraguan dream, it's a new front in the U.S.-China rivalry. Its outcome could redefine the future of Central America and the global order. The world's superpowers are watching and maneuvering. Every move is scrutinized, as the stakes extend far beyond regional politics. The outcome will echo far beyond Central America, shaping the next chapter in the global contest for influence and power. For Panama, the canal is its economic lifeblood and global identity. Officially, Panama projects confidence in its century-old canal, but behind the scenes, there's real concern. Drought has forced Panama to limit ship traffic, shaking global confidence and giving Nicaragua an opening. Nicaragua's proposed sea-level canal is marketed as the solution to Panama's water woes. The geopolitical stakes are high. Panama is a U.S. ally but also has deep economic ties to China, which already operates major ports at both ends of the Panama Canal. The Nicaraguan project puts Panama in a delicate position, balancing between its security ally and its top trading partner. Panama's strategy: double down on reliability, invest in water management, and hope to solve its problems before Nicaragua's canal becomes reality. The competition is no longer theoretical, it's spurring Panama to innovate and adapt. The race for control of the hemisphere's shipping lanes is on. Panama's century-old advantage is suddenly at risk. The Nicaraguan government promises the canal will bring jobs and prosperity, lifting the country out of poverty. But for tens of thousands living along the route, the project means fear of losing homes, farms, and ancestral lands. Indigenous and Afro-descendant communities like the Rama and Creole face displacement and the erasure of their culture. The failed HKND project left a legacy of broken promises and ignored protests. International courts have ruled in favor of these communities. But with Ortega's government withdrawing from regional organizations, legal protections are uncertain. The canal could deepen social divides, pitting those who benefit against those who lose everything. In today's Nicaragua, dissent is dangerous. Opposition is often silenced. The human cost of the canal may be measured not just in numbers displaced, but in lost rights and voices. Building a 445-kilometer canal is an environmental gamble of historic proportions. The route would cut through forests, destroy habitats, and sever a vital wildlife corridor linking North and South America. Lake Managua, already heavily polluted, would be dredged for supertankers, risking toxic contamination and ecological disaster. The threat of fuel spills and ship accidents would be permanent. Nicaragua sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, making earthquakes and volcanic eruptions a constant risk to the canal's stability. Critics warn that the environmental costs are being dangerously underestimated, with little transparency or independent review. The project could irreversibly alter Nicaragua's landscape and water systems for generations. The question remains, can any economic benefit justify such permanent damage? Is the Nicaragua Canal even economically viable? Many experts are deeply skeptical. The global shipping market is unpredictable, and the Panama Canal, despite its issues, remains a trusted route. Convincing shipping giants to switch to an untested canal will be a tough sell. Financing is the biggest hurdle. Without a direct guarantee from Beijing, the $50–80 billion project may never get off the ground. China's involvement so far is cautious, focused on ports, not the full canal. Analysts suggest Beijing may use the project for strategic leverage, not necessarily to build the entire canal. For Ortega, the canal is about legacy and sovereignty. For China, it's a way to challenge US influence at low cost. The project's true value may lie in the political leverage it creates, not the ships it carries. The canal's fate may be decided in boardrooms and backrooms, not on the construction site. The Nicaragua Canal is a vision of both opportunity and risk. It could transform Nicaragua's economy and global trade, but the environmental and human costs are immense. The project is driven by an authoritarian government, with little transparency or public debate. Financial and engineering challenges make completion uncertain. Failure could leave a scarred landscape and crushing debt. More than a local issue, the canal reflects the great power rivalry between the US and China. Decisions made in Managua, Beijing, and Washington will ripple across the globe. Will this be a new era of prosperity, or a cautionary tale of ambition gone too far? The world is watching, and the story is far from over.